Joe Biden ran as Harry Truman. He thought he was going to govern as Franklin Roosevelt. But this, to me, looks just like Jimmy Carter.
Within a year of Joe Biden becoming president, and similarities were already being made to Jimmy Carter. But in recent months, such comparisons are increasing.
Do you guys ever start feeling like it's Jimmy Carter deja vu, and that's where we're headed?
I think the difference there is between the kind of stagflation they were facing and the very different, in many ways more nuanced economy we're facing.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
It was in 1977 that Jimmy Carter came to office promising change, but things hadn't gone to plan.
Everyone thought it was going to be a new day, and it was a disaster. The Iranians took our hostages. We had inflation. The Soviets invaded Afghanistan, all sorts of disasters.
More than 40 years later, 2021, and the progressive-driven Joe Biden presidency began.
And I think the compromise that they came up with, if implemented, will make Biden the most progressive president since FDR.
There followed the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the failure to, quote, shut down the virus, and worsening inflation, which now stands at 9.1%, which Mr. Biden likes to blame on Putin's invasion of Ukraine.
All I got is this and some water, and it came up to $177. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's another parallel between Joe Biden today and Jimmy Carter back then, 40 years ago. Back then, gas prices symbolized inflation. Same thing today.
It was in the summer of 1979 that Jimmy Carter then gave his crisis of confidence speech, as it's come to be known.
The true problems of our nation are much deeper than gasoline lines or energy shortages, deeper even than inflation or recession.
Also known as his malaise speech, it was an effort to boost morale.
It is a crisis that strikes at the very heart and soul and spirit of our national will.
It had the opposite effect, and yet it's a theme that Mr. Biden has adopted since he announced he was running for president.
We're engaged once again in a battle for the soul of the nation.
And continues with today, most recently last month during a one-on-one with the AP.
We talked about the economy, the election, the war in Ukraine, inflation, gas prices, and what he feels he needs to do to lift up a country that he said is feeling really, really down.
He's recognizing that there's a lot of pain and suffering in this country.
Giving people a little Jimmy Carter flashback, a word he never actually said, but malaise.
President Carter and Vice President Mondale.
Jimmy Carter went on to lose the 1980 general election by a landslide to Ronald Reagan, so it's difficult to understand why Joe Biden continues to follow the Carter playbook today.
Jimmy Carter, to most Americans, when you use his name, it's like a synonym for political ineptness. And I think it's no coincidence that that's the name increasingly attached to Joe Biden. Only a few months after we were told that he was going to be the next Franklin Roosevelt.
Ronald Reagan, of course, went on to reduce taxes and regulation, which resulted in one of the strongest periods of economic growth in American history.